Hello, everyone. We are so lucky today. We've got with us Reginald Swift. He's the CEO of Rubix LS, and he's got some innovative technology he's deploying to improve global health by accelerating product development in the life sciences field. So stick around. You don't want to miss this episode.
Welcome to the Your Mark on the World show with your champion of social good, Devin D. Thorpe.
Please support the sponsors who made this episode possible, including Johnson & Johnson's Caring Crowd and GoodCrowd.School. Reginald, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Devin, for having me. I definitely appreciate being here.
Well, we're thrilled to have you, Reginald. I wonder if you'd take a minute and just give us a quick overview of Rubix LS.
Sure. So at the 10,000 feet view of it, we were born out of a research and development, organization or thought process. We were born to develop combination devices, and combination devices in which we have a medical device and a pharmaceutical agent mixed into one, and also being implantable to actively target and, develop as a therapy against rare diseases and cancers. And we started taking enormous leaps and bounds to get into digitizing that type of journey for not only ourselves, but for our clients alike as well, whether it's from the commercial side or the government.
So give us an example of the things you can treat successfully, or at least that you're hoping to treat successfully with your technologies.
Sure. So one of the areas in which we focused in is in the orthopedic or orthogenic area. We've developed a device, a combination device that is currently in clinical trials that is being able to be successful in regenerating the hip region. For people who suffer from osteonecrosis and osteoporosis, arthrodesis, and a number of different orthopedic diseases that plague the human body as we age.
Interesting. And so where does the device go? Does it go into the hip, into the bone, or just into a tissue somewhere? How does that work?
Sure. So what it is actually an active implantable where it replaces the necrotic area of the bone, and you're able to implant it into an area where, it digs into the cement portion of the bone and is able to regenerate based on the matrix that we built around it to take the shape of whatever was missing and whatever the cavitation is.
Excellent. How did you get started with Rubix LS? Tell us a little bit about the founder story.
No, sure. So this was born out of a personal tragedy for me. As in college, you always think about a lot of things that you want to do with your life, right? And, my father was one of those when, as I was in school, we were able to talk about, let's build a jet plane, let's build a rocket ship, let's build this, let's build that. And, one day he was diagnosed with cancer, and he was able to live to a certain extent, based on the chemo and active treatment plans that were allotted to him at the time. Being a veteran, he was able to take advantage of some opportunities, but it was not actively therapeutic in the areas where it showed any promise of anything getting better. So as he passed away in 2013, it was really my story to say, all of the things that we couldn't have done, that we could have done, I want to be able to say, for someone else, let's make it so. Let's make it an opportunity where we're developing these innovative technologies where people can live longer, people can be able to be treated, and people can have hope against certain types of diseases. So it was my passion as a mechanical engineer to develop nuanced or really, conceptualize technologies around what we deem as a medical device or pharmaceutical agent. So we can make sure that we target diseases and cancers in a nuanced way or in a novel way.
It's fascinating work. I'm sorry about the loss of your father, but it's inspired greatness here, I think.
Absolutely. And, we're only going up from here, if you will.
So who are your clients? Tell us a little bit about the the way you're working and the way that you're developing these products and the partnerships and things that you've developed.
No, sure. So I would say our growth pattern has been a little bit of a quasi area, right? The way we built our internal devices or our internal projects was actually through partnering with the Department of Defense. There are areas where in the Department of Defense that they allow you to, create innovative solutions to, high standard problems. And they have different vehicles in which you can pursue, to develop innovation with them. So we decided to take on that challenge for ourselves and work with the Department of Defense and even DARPA, which is an active, think tank within the government, if you will. They think of high-rise ideas, and they want to be able to think of high-rise solutions to be able to then target active opportunities to help solve those problems. And, it started blending itself where we started creating relationships with MIT, with Harvard Medical School, with Boston University, with Brigham and Women's Hospital, with the American Cancer Society, and as well as a number of different institutions in which they're now starting to see, okay, combination devices is a way where we can start harmonizing, okay, product innovation and patient outcomes at the same time.
Interesting. So how did you get started with the Department of Defense? What was the process like there?
Oh, man, let me tell you, when you talk about bureaucracy, you can see it right in front of you. But, they have areas in which, the way we wanted to start was, try to apply for grants, right? We thought we were going to just get grants and be able to say, you know what, we'll just get many of them just to work on the same project. But it is highly competitive when we talk about these government grants because they come in the form of like small business innovation research, which many companies are attacking at the same time. But we started identifying novel ways in which, as a small business ourselves, we want to take advantage of our background, right? We're minority owned. We have our situation, we have our development in a distressed region where they want to spur more economic opportunities. So it started becoming a plus for us, where it was incentivized from the government to be able to work with us or partner with us. So, and because we are working with high-rise opportunities, high-rise innovation solutions, they thought it would be a great opportunity to start aligning what we're doing into some of their missions that they have going. So it started to become like a genesis of, okay, not just focusing on the project itself or the mission, but also how do we incorporate this type of, high-rise thinking, as you would find in Cambridge or in Japan or in, Germany, but into it like a city like Lawrence, right, where our headquarters is.
Interesting. Well, as you think about the future, where do you see Rubix LX going in LS in the coming years? What shape or form do you see it taking?
Sure. So I always have pie in the sky ideas, right? I always think that we're going to make $1 billion. We're going to go to the moon and back. We're going to do, venture to where no man's ventured before. That's what I would say if I was 10 years old, right? But to put a lot of concrete steps in where we think we're going to go, right? In 5 years, we believe we'll be a heavy set research and development partner in the area of combination devices. Because solutions don't only come from just creating one type of vaccine or one type of medical device or one type of pharmaceutical agent or one type of digital technology, but it is a combination or a blend of all of them involved as an umbrella. Because in the world that we're moving towards, patients want transparency. Hospitals want transparency. Insurance payers want transparency. And even companies are starting to realize, okay, we need to start building towards ourselves towards transparent nature, transparent innovation, rather than, siloing, okay, clinical trials or product development or even just kind of marketing as well. We have to be inclusive of everyone that's involved, inclusive of every type of patient that actually needs this type of innovation or solution. We're not just talking about maybe people who can pay for it, but maybe develop solutions in which people may not have the resources needed, or for those who are underrepresented. And that's kind of where we want to bridge that divide.
No, that's fantastic. Well, Reginald, what are you most proud of having accomplished so far?
Yeah, man, there's a lot of things I can say, right? There's a lot of things I can say. But the one aspect in which, for the company that I believe in which we know has made a difference, is the aspect of what we created in the combination space, right? People say that, oh no, it can't be done. It can't be feasible. We don't think it's measurable. We don't think it's investable. But we've created it. We've created something that even Nikola Tesla may be proud of now, right? If he was alive today. It's the aspect in which I became from an unfunded company to now starting to work with, these types of partnerships based off the discrete technology that we built in the combination space, because it's starting to open up applied sciences and even deep novel sciences in which we're now changing the landscape of what some of the history books or some of the scientific books will start changing. We're creating things that we never thought we could create before, and we're doing it from an organization that has been built organically. Now we're going to change that, but it from this step to come to this step, it's been really a great ride.
What's the most important lesson you've learned so far?
Is to temper expectations. That is a really, really considerable thing that I've learned to this day. Even though I work in an aspect in which I always want things to happen at the speed of light, I realize now that for people to actually grab towards your vision, grab towards your understanding, grab towards, okay, this guy has something really worthwhile, you have to give it time for people to absorb it, because people may not absorb information as fast as I do, as fast as some of my guys do. But once they do, they'll believe in it, and they'll be able to take your thought process and your vision even further than before. And that's one thing that I realized, that to be able to manage those expectations were a challenge as well.
Excellent. Reginald, as you think about your experience with your father passing away and how it motivated you, I wonder if you would kind of help us understand that there are so many people whose parents pass away from cancer and other tragedies. Yeah. And I'm one of those, don't really do anything about it. What was for you, what do you think catalyzed that for you, that made you take responsibility and step forward personally to fight this battle?
Really great question, Devin. Thank you so much. I realize, people ask that type of question in certain ways, but here I think I can really harness the actual core in which I started thinking that I could create something. It's because of what my father and my family has kind of gone through in its past, right? We haven't been, the most opportunistic, taking the most opportunities in our lifetimes. But I realized that for us to change the nature in which we want to change our health outcomes, we have to be the ones to do it. And just being able to see my family and take a look at, their choices in which their diet, exercise, and healthy choices come into factor, I realized that I wanted to change that for the family name, as soon as I saw that. And not just for me per se and my family, growing up, but the ones that will come after me, to say that, in essence, we are not just creating something for us, but we're creating something for everyone. All right, where we can change the navigation in which our health and our outcomes will change. So therefore, when we tell more stories or we want to do more things with our sons and our daughters, we'll have the very opportunity to do so. So in essence, what it all came from was that one opportunity that I almost started with my father building a jetpack, and we never got anywhere close to finalizing a design. We started talking about ideas, but we never really got towards anywhere. So I figured, you know what? Let me pivot away from that area and let me focus here in health, where I think if we were to talk about it now, if we were still alive, I think it'll be something that he'll be proud of.
Yeah, excellent. Reginald, what is your superpower?
Very good question. Very good question. Sometimes I ask that myself in the mornings, right? What am I going to do today? What do I excel at? I think I excel at merging science with motivation. It's not just about understanding prolific science nature and prolific science concepts, but how do you motivate people to want to be able to do science at the same time, to want to get into STEM, to want to dive deeper than ever before. So if I were to classify anything, I would say to be able to be that cheerleader, if you will, to say, science can do breakthrough things if you just think about it. Then I think it motivates people to say, let me challenge my thinking to say, what is it that we can do today? How can we merge different types of concepts together, merge it in a way that makes sense for society and mankind alike?
Excellent. Well, Reginald, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Before you go, I wonder if you would take a minute and just tell people how they can learn more about Rubix LS and how they can connect with you personally.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. So, yes, I can be connected through my website, rubixls.com. It's RUBIX as in X-ray, LS as in Sam, or reaching by email at rswift@rubixls.com. Or you can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, IG, and Facebook as well.
Excellent. Well, Reginald, again, thank you very much for being with us today. We wish you every success in solving all of the world's health problems.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to keep the motivation going.
All righty. Let's do some good.
At Caring Crowd, we believe everyone has the power to make a difference. Through our crowdfunding platform for community health, we empower passionate people to drive real change. Whether you work for a nonprofit organization, volunteer, or want to get involved for the first time, you can post a campaign on Caring Crowd. Join us, because caring is where change begins.
At goodcrowd.school, 5% of what you pay to learn how to make a difference goes to nonprofits working to eradicate extreme poverty, improve global health, and reverse climate change by 2045. So when you take a course to learn how to change the world, you do change the world. Get started at goodcrowd.school today. Thanks for tuning in to the Your Mark on the World show, the Social Impact Podcast. Please subscribe via YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or Spotify.